thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And
Nice to see you
Eduardo
again.
is BRB. Okay, no problem. What have you been up to the last 3 hours? You
Uh,
been busy?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working.
And now you're back for more English.
Yeah, I had my dinner
Mhm.
for a while ago and waiting for your calls.
Cool. Um, okay, so in this class, we're going to spend some time correcting tricky mistakes. They're all grammar mistakes. They're mostly advanced. Some of them are pretty tough, but we'll see how we do. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna share my screen. I'm just trying to fit everything on one page, but it doesn't, I can't get rid of it. So we'll have to have this sidebar. But is that big enough? Can you see? A little bigger.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's okay.
Okay, so um, here's my marker tool. So we have all of these questions, and with each question, there's some sort of error that we have to correct.
Yeah,
So let's take a look at the first one. Can you read it for me, Ali?
my cat is smaller than the Jones cat.
Good. So do you know what's wrong?
Yeah, I think.
What's the problem?
Uh, we need a apostrophe, Jones.
Okay, so what exactly should it say right here? Ooh, that's really big. Hold on. So we know that you need an apostrophe.
Yes,
Can you spell it for me? Where should the apostrophe be?
because it's possessive. Okay.
Okay, so we have Jones. Where do
Yeah.
I put the apostrophe? Here,
After E.
after the E,
Yeah,
like this? The Jones cat.
yeah.
Okay, Eduardo, are you there? No. Hi, Tony.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. And you?
I'm good, thanks. So we're just going to correct some of these kind of tricky advanced grammar questions. For the first one, do you agree with Ali?
I would put the apostrophe after the S.
Okay. That's a little bit closer. We're almost there. But we need one more thing. What else do we need? Jones is their last name.
Yeah. Jones. Another S maybe
Yeah, you
after
can put
apostrophe.
another S here because it's a last name. You're
Oh
actually
yeah.
looking for Joneses. I know it looks really strange, um, but that's the correct way to do it. The Joneses cat. Okay.
So when it is the second name that finishes with the S, you put another S with the.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. Number 2. The man who actually, sorry, Tony, can you read it?
The man who I just met is Sidney Crosby.
Okay. So there's a mistake.
I would cancel who.
Okay. And what would you do here?
Or
Can
that or nothing.
So there should be no who. It should say that or nothing. Like this?
That, yes.
Okay. Ali, what do you think? Do you agree?
Mm,
Not sure?
Not sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do we know the difference between who and whom? Who versus whom?
The first one is like a pronoun, and the second complement.
Good. So who and whom are technically, they're both pronouns. But it depends on if you're talking about the subject or the object. If you use who, you're referring to the subject. If you use whom, you're referring to the object. So what in this sentence is the subject?
I,
The man, I, Sidney Crosby. What's the subject?
The man.
The man. Yeah, the man is the subject. Who, is it referring to the man?
No, it's referring to me.
Who I just met is Sidney Crosby, right? It's referring to the object, not the subject. So you actually want whom here instead of who. That's kind of the complicated way, but there's an easier way to remember it. If you remove the rest of the sentence, who goes with him. So if you removed everything else, if you replaced Sidney Crosby with him, I just met Sidney. I'm just typing, sorry. Sidney Crosby, I just met him. So because Sidney Crosby would be replaced with him, you want to refer to him. Okay, so that is correct as well, because you can always use that if you want. But grammatically, it should be whom, the man whom I just met. And I have a few. Here's Grammar Girl. She gives a really good explanation of the difference between them. Takes a little practice, but this one should be whom. Hi, Ken. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks. Hi, Eduardo. Welcome back. Okay. Let's try number 3. Eduardo, since you're back, can you read number 3 for us?
Okay. Oliver asked James to meet him after work to discuss his ugly tie.
Okay, what's wrong with this sentence? What do you guys think? What could it be?
Is something wrong always?
Yes, there's always something wrong.
Okay.
I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with the pronouns.
I think that or you can cancel the S in ask, or you have to change them in him to him.
Change them to him? Oh, you're looking at number 4. I think
Sorry, teacher.
Yeah. That's okay. Look at number 3. Let me read it. Oliver asked James to meet him after work to discuss his ugly tie. Does it make sense? Do you understand who is doing what? What's happening?
Yes.
Who has an ugly tie?
James? Yeah.
Are you sure?
Ask just. Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, we don't know. That's the problem.
I see.
Yeah, you see, they've used these pronouns, him and his, which is fine, but we don't know who he's talking about. So the ugly tie, it could belong to Oliver. It could belong to James. We don't know. So
Or someone else?
yeah, or someone else. Yeah, we don't know. It's very unclear.
Yeah,
So
but for me, Oliver and James are 2 guys.
Yeah, they're both guys, right?
Okay.
So that's fine. So technically, sure, it's fine, I guess, except we don't know who has the ugly tie. So we call this an unclear. So this is when you use a pronoun to reference someone from earlier, but we don't know who you're talking about. It's just not clear. It's confusing.
Can you put writing his, her, here, his, backlash, her,
Right. So
or
his,
not?
her, or his or her, like, oops,
Yeah.
I'm in the other part. His, her, his or her. Yeah, you can, but that's actually not the problem. The problem is that I don't know if his refers to, let me see if I can draw a line here. Okay. His, I don't know if it refers to James or to Oliver. They're both boys, so his is okay. But this could say Oliver asked James to meet him after work to discuss Oliver's ugly tie or to discuss James's ugly tie. But his, it's just not clear. We don't know who's being referenced. You see? So it's confusing. But you're right, Eduardo. His or her, this is a way to be where it's kind of like when we use they sometimes when you're not sure if it's a girl or a boy. So that's also a good thing to point out. Okay. Any questions
So,
about that one?
how can you paraphrase this sentence as a correct sentence?
So you could either change his to Oliver's or James's.
Mm-hmm.
Both
Okay.
of those would be fine. To paraphrase, the two of them are meeting after work to talk about someone's tie. We don't know whose. That's the problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you don't want to overuse pronouns when it's, when we can't tell who's being discussed. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I warned you, they're tricky, right? Okay. I'm gonna do. Actually, sorry, I'll leave this, but it should be red just to try to keep this a little bit color coded. Oops. No, I can't do it. That's okay. Let's try number 4. Hi, Ismail. Welcome.
Hi, hi Samantha, hi everybody.
How are you?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, let's see. Ali, can you try number 4? Can you read it for me?
Okay. If anybody asks for me, tell them I'm busy.
Okay, so technically this is okay, but there's something that would grammatically be a little bit better. So, does anyone know the problem?
Asked for me?
No, it's okay in the present.
I
I
think
suppose.
for me, maybe.
Sorry, Ali again and then Eduardo.
I think it's something wrong
Tell him.
for me.
Nope, for me is okay. Ismail, I think, is getting there, maybe. He said tell him. I think Eduardo probably knows the answer now.
I
I will
was
be
thinking
busy.
the saying like them is not. If anybody go with ask, so the third person of singular, I suppose we cannot use them. But you just said in the sentence before that we can use instead his, her, them. So yeah, I'm
So
confused.
let me explain that. So grammatically, according to the rules of grammar, his, her, or you can say his or her, this is more correct, okay? But we also have this pronoun called the singular they. Have you heard of this before?
No.
Okay, so let me just find a link for you, and then I'll briefly explain. Oh, it has a Wikipedia page. Look at that. Okay, so the singular they is something in modern language. A lot of people and people who are into grammar, teachers, believe that the singular they is acceptable. And what it means is that we use the pronoun they to refer to a single person. It basically replaces his or her. And oh, sorry, it should be him or her, not his or her.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Tell him, oops, him or her. It replaces that just because him or her, it's a little bit awkward when we're speaking. So just over time, we've started to say they instead. When you're writing, it's usually better to say him or her. So for isn't necessarily wrong, but grammatically, it's better to use him or her. Does that make sense?
And in colloquial level, people say, "Tell they I'm busy."
Sorry, can you ask again? Say that again.
Singular they means people say, "Tell they," not them.
Tell them.
Tell
Yeah,
them.
I
Okay,
just
it's okay, but it's not so correct.
No, exactly. It's more colloquial, and it's used more when we're speaking because it's faster, really. Like if I was saying this, I would say if anyone asks for me, tell them I'm busy. Tell them I'm busy because it's quick, right? It doesn't feel natural to say tell him or her I'm busy, right? It sounds really like clunky and awkward. So on paper, grammatically, it's correct. But this singular they, it can be they, them, themselves. It's becoming more popular.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I was saying, number 4, it could be right. It could be considered correct. It depends on who you're talking to, kind of. I can assume that it's Jamie's tie because Oliver's the one. Rigo, are you in class? I don't know. Maybe not.
Sorry, teacher.
Is that you, Tony?
I would ask you a question.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Tony.
Okay.
If we can say also if anybody asks without the S and we use them.
Yes, except anybody, the pronoun anybody, it's singular. So you could say if any people ask for me.
Okay.
But you'd have to use a plural pronoun for that to work. But you're on the right track. Anybody, anyone, everybody, all of these constructions, they're singular. Okay?
Okay.
Even if they're referring to multiple people, that they're actually singular as a word. It's a little strange, but.
And that's why we have
many people.
And that's why we have this problem with anybody, anyone, everyone, someone. All of them goes with the third person of the verse. If you want to refer in the next sentence to a group of people, it's complicated to do that, no?
Yeah.
But we can use them. You said in a normal speaking, we can use tell them if it is a group of people and not one guy or girl.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because I mean, you heard me say it, right? It sounds more natural. That's what you would hear. Nobody says tell him or her I'm busy, right? It sounds funny. So, that's where this them has come from. But if you're talking about logically, it should be him or her. So it's the rule, but it's constantly being broken. So, yeah. Does anyone have other questions about the ones we've done so far?
Is it okay to use them, singular them, they, in academic writing or official document?
Okay, so that is hard to answer. It really depends. The most important thing is that you're very consistent. So you can't use them in one sentence and then use him or her 2 sentences
I
later.
see.
Okay,
That's
that's really, yeah, that's inconsistent. So you want to sort of choose one option and stay with it. I would say in academic writing, you should probably use him or her.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
in
see.
novels, you'll most likely see this singular they a lot because it depends on the type of reading or writing that you're doing, you know?
I see.
Yeah. The more formal the writing, the more likely you are to use him or her. Yeah.
And if you are going to use them, you can put, like you said, my family or the people or a plural noun, and that's
Exactly.
it. You can use them if you want to. No?
Yeah, exactly. This is another option. You can just replace the pronoun and tell us what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Tell that person I'm busy. You don't have to use a pronoun. So if you can't figure out a way to cast the sentence, just get rid of the pronoun and give us the noun. That's another way to fix it. Okay. Any other questions so far? Hi, Sabrina. You have some connection problems. I don't know. Is it okay now?
Okay, it's okay now.
How are
Thank
you?
I'm fine.
Good. Okay. Could I change anybody to they? No, you can't change anybody to they because if you were to do that, you're saying if they. Grammatically, that sentence is fine. Grammatically, that's correct, but you've changed the meaning. It doesn't mean the same thing as if anybody asks for me. They is now referring.
We can't hear you, teacher.
Yeah, because the original anybody, it suggests that you know who exactly, right? It could be any person. So it's non-specific. Okay? So you have to be a little careful about that. If you wanted to pluralize it, sounds a little awkward though, but you know, it kind of works. Okay, so let me just make a note here so you know. This one is about this. Okay, this one up here was about who pronoun case, and then this one was about plurals and titles. Okay, and I'll send you guys this when we're finished, so you'll have it with all the writing on it. Okay. Let's continue. Let's try number 5. How about Sabrina? Can you read number 5?
Okay. He had sang the same song on many occasions.
Okay. What's wrong?
Sang.
Yeah, I believe sang.
And what's the problem?
Spelling should be past participle, so su.
Sung, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Good. So it's just that we need the past participle. I guess we could just call that a spelling error. Technically, what we call it is, let me think, incorrect principal part, if you're interested in Googling. But the problem is that the verb tense is correct, but part of it is wrong. The spelling is wrong, right? Is everyone okay with number 5?
Is there the pronunciation difference of past and
had he? Okay, so the sentence would be he sang the same.
yeah.
You listen. He sang. He had sung.
sang, sang.
Sang,
There's
sung. Yeah.
Huh.
And actually, if you look at my face here, let me just. Hi. You can see the vowel when I'm speaking. Sang is like this. Sang, sung. Your jaw drops a lot lower for that U sound, so makes a difference.
Mhm.
Okay. How about number 6? Tony, go for it.
Okay. The entire troop are well known.
Mm-hmm.
Is instead of are.
Very good. Let me fix this. Why is the answer is? Do you know why?
Because the entire troop is a singular name.
Yeah, great. So subject-verb agreement. This entire troop, it's singular. Very good. Any questions about that one? It can be tricky because it looks plural, but it's not plural. It's disguising as singular. Okay, good. Eduardo, how about, oh, you just did that one, didn't you, Eduardo? Ismail.
neither my cat nor my sorry.
Go ahead.
Neither my cat nor my dog run quickly. Runs
Runs, very good. Just put a little S in here. Can you tell me why?
because singular, my dog.
Great. Again, this is subject.
Verb agreement.
Perfect. Any questions about number 7? All right, you guys are good at this. Let's try number 8. Who wants to read? I don't know, maybe Ken?
Okay. Those hostesses' cheese puffs were to die for.
Mm-hmm.
I think hostesses apostrophe.
Good. So where should it go? Like, what should this ending look like here?
Maybe after S, because it's plural.
At the last end.
Like this?
Yes.
The hostess's cheese puffs. Does everyone agree with that one?
Now you
Yes.
have to put hostess in singular
Why?
because you are using genitive. I don't remember the name. Yeah. So the hostess, cis is just the apostrophe after the singular. Yeah.
Like
Cheese.
this?
Without the S, the last S maybe.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, what does everyone think?
But if it is singular, why war?
Well, cheese puffs is definitely plural, and were goes with cheese puffs.
I see.
So that's kind of irrelevant. So we just need to figure out this part. So first of all, is it one hostess or 5?
We don't know. I
Yeah,
suppose it's one.
we don't know, do we? It could be 1, it could be 5. We don't know. It's not really clear. So which of these is correct, or are both of them okay?
I think
Usually it's one hostess.
Usually it's 1, yeah.
Okay,
I
yes,
think
but
both
it
are
could be a
okay.
couple in his house, home. Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay. I'm trying to fix it, but it's freezing on me. Yeah, they're okay. It won't let me in there, but they're both okay because we don't really know. I would think it's singular, but it's not clear. So I would go with the singular one, but you guys can decide what you think is better. Either way, we need an apostrophe, right? That's the problem. So you could say this is incorrect. Put that over here. So there's something wrong with the way that you form the possessive there. Okay. This document keeps freezing on me. Okay, here we go. Number 9. Who's next? Tony?
Yes. My brother told me that my mother will be coming over for dinner.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong? Everybody, you guys can help each other. What do you think is wrong?
I think we need to use a conditional, not a future auxiliary.
Okay, which means what needs to change?
Would
Will,
instead will.
Would.
Would, very good.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, can you explain why? So you said that we need to use the conditional auxiliary.
Well, I translate the sentence to Spanish and it doesn't make sense.
Well, there is actually a reason why. What is this, reported speech or direct speech?
This is reported speech.
Yeah.
Told me. Yeah.
Told me that is
Told me
reported
that.
speech. When you're reporting the speech and you're dealing with the past, anything that was said should also be in the past. It should be in the same tense. Okay? So my brother told me that my mom would come for dinner. Would is correct. Okay? Oops. Oh, there we go. This thing is getting mad at me, but hopefully it'll let me keep writing. So, what's the error? Not sure how to explain it. It's the verb tense, I guess. Oops. Verb tense. Can you see what I'm typing, or is it frozen?
I
Now.
can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I can't. It's frozen for me. That's okay. Let's go on to number 10. Sabrina.
When she saw her test paper, Beatrice shrunk back in horror.
Good. What's
I don't
going
know
on?
where is the mistake.
Okay. What does everyone think?
I think pronoun should be the second.
Nope, it's not. It's not about the pronouns this time. It's about something else.
Okay.
I think it's the second verb,
Beatrice,
maybe.
Beatrice should be in the first word.
Is there a word here that you might want to look up to make sure it's correct?
Shrunk?
Yeah.
In the
So
past,
what's
not the
wrong with
past
shrunk?
participle.
Yeah, exactly. This is the past participle. So what should it say?
Shrank.
Shrank. Yeah. Shrink. Shrank.
Yeah,
Okay.
like swim, swam. No?
Yeah, shrink, shrink, shrink. It's hard to say it quickly. Yeah. I'm just gonna type into the chat now because it won't let me draw on the screen anymore. I was having fun. Oh, there we go. It only lets me fix it sometimes. So this should say shrank. Okay. Very good. Let's go.
Samantha.
Yeah, question?
I think Beatrice should in the first word because we don't know
Oh, I see. You
of
think
whom we are
it should-
talking.
Mhm. It should
When she
say, when Beatrice saw her paper, she shrank back.
yes, I would say
Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. They're both okay though. So you
both
can,
okay,
yeah,
but we don't
you
know
can
she who
actually.
is she. We learned after we read the whole sentence.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that is okay. You can do that as long as as long as we know by the end of the sentence who you're talking about. It's
Okay,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So it kind of expects you to read, I don't know, to read quickly, I guess, because usually we read fairly quickly. But you could trade them, and that's fine too. This is okay, or your way is fine. They're both fine. Okay?
A question, Sam. The
Sure.
verb shrink is used in a emotional way, like here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me show you what that means. So to it's when you go like like this.
Yeah. I suppose. Okay.
Yeah. This is literally shrink, like to get very small.
Yeah.
So you can figuratively kind of imagine you're like doing this, you know? So it's an emotional response.
Okay.
Response. There we go. I guess it's kind of an idiom. Is it an idiom? Yeah. Okay. Should we try number 11? Let's go on.
Yeah.
Ismail, could you read number 11 for me?
Number 11. He ran across an old friend and they went in the house.
And just click the green button to join. Okay, great. So, what do you think is wrong with this sentence?
They.
They?
Yeah.
This one's really tricky, actually. They is okay.
They is okay, I think.
Yeah, they is fine because they is he and his friend.
They
Uh-huh.
went to the house.
Went is okay.
Into the
Across
house.
maybe.
Into. Who said into?
Went
I did.
into.
Yeah, very good. They went into the house. That's a tough one. They went into the house. There's also one other thing that we could fix here.
Across.
Yeah, ran across. That's not quite the phrasal verb that we use. Do you know what the phrasal verb is, the normal one?
Come across.
Yeah, you could say he came across a friend, or you could say he ran into a friend.
Uh-huh.
So I'll give you both options. Ran into an old friend or came across an old friend. They're both okay. But ran across, we don't use that. It sounds like like you literally ran on top of somebody. Like they're laying down and you're like, yeah, you're stomping on them. It's not. It sounds really funny, so you want to fix that one. So I guess the error here would be wrong. What part of speech is that? Does anyone know? In starts with a P, ends with a preposition.
Preposition.
Good. Wrong preposition. Well, there's more than one, but wrong preposition.
Samantha, what is the difference between into and in?
Okay, let me get you a resource for that. In versus into.
Try to explain it with transport.
Yeah,
I have
so
a
here.
doubt the other day, yeah, with this one.
Okay. How do I explain? Into, as all one word, is, oh, it's hard to explain. I have to think. Let me see how they explain it. To indicate movement toward the inside of a place. So It's when you're physically moving inside something else. So they were playing basketball and they threw the ball into the hoop. Physically, the ball went inside that other thing, right?
Refer direction.
Yeah, it's about direction and movement. You're moving from one place into another, and you're physically going inside something else. If I just say the ball is the fine, there's no movement. It's just sitting there. Okay? So it's related to movement and going inside something else.
But in some cases, it's a little bit mixed. Like, for example,
Yeah, it can be a
with the
little.
verb come in, we use come in when you invite someone to go into a room or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can use come into too, no?
Come in, if you were saying that, you would say come in to the room. But they would be two separate words.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a little tricky. I gave you one exercise there, and then my favorite, Grammar Girl, also has an explanation of the difference between the two. I'm not very good at explaining. When you use in, you're indicating position. When you use into, you're indicating movement. So that's the easiest way to explain. If it's a phrasal verb that has in, like come in, then you probably keep it just in. That's where it seems a little strange, Eduardo, is if the two work together as a phrasal verb. Okay. Okay, what about number 12? I don't know whose turn it is. Eduardo? I think.
Okay. I saw a cage full of rabbits in the pet store, and I wanted one. I missed the subject. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a cage of rabbits in the pet store, and right here you could put I wanted one. To be honest, number 12 is kind of actually, it's okay as it is, because the subject I carries over to wanted, but you can put the I in here. That's what they're going for. It's missing the subject. Okay?
Okay.
Let me just write that comment if it will let me. Missing subject. Okay, how about number 13, Ali?
I saved my leftover sandwich for the bus ride home, which was delicious.
Okay. I saved my leftover sandwich for the bus ride home, which was delicious. What's wrong?
The bus ride home seems to be delicious.
Yeah. It was a delicious bus ride. This is the problem. We don't know what was delicious, the bus ride or the sandwich. So
That
pardon?
was.
Home may be delicious.
Yeah, maybe. So we call this a dangling, or no, it's a misplaced modifier. Modifiers are like adverbs, adjectives, adjective phrases, things that modify other things in the sentence, right? Which was delicious? That's your modifier, but it's very confused. It doesn't know what it's modifying. That's our problem. Okay? So we need to rearrange this sentence. Does anyone have an idea? How could we rearrange it?
I changed the verb to be for tasted.
Okay, but now the bus tasted delicious.
Yeah, no way.
So
Can we put which was delicious after sandwich?
yeah, much better. So I saved my leftover. Do we know what was delicious now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much more clear, I think, right? So you have to be careful. The rule basically is keep your modifier very close to whatever it's modifying or it's changing. Otherwise, things can be a little funny. So, misplaced modifier with the delicious bus. Okay, good. Any questions about that one, number 13?
Samantha, do we need to home between
Nope.
right and on?
No, you don't actually. We can just say I rode home, I went home, I walked home. You don't need a preposition there. It's kind of a strange one. Good question. Okay. Ivan, do I have to pay to participate? Yes, you do.
Yes.
What do we call them? A membership? Here, if I can find the link. Let me find it quickly. Plans. Grammar, right, guys? Okay. Who's next? Ken?
Okay. Divide the Halloween candy up between the three of you.
Okay.
Halloween apostrophe is strange.
Well, yeah, but it depends. Sometimes it's
Really?
written this way and it's okay. I don't like it. I would get rid of it. So, yes, but there's actually something else that's wrong with this sentence. It's a little tricky.
Maybe originally the word is not English.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of come over, but it's keeping that old-fashioned apostrophe.
Okay.
So we usually delete the apostrophe. Yeah. It's very old-fashioned to have it in. But technically it's correct. It's not necessarily wrong. There's something else in this sentence that is wrong.
Yes.
Among.
Yay! Look at you geniuses. Okay, why is it among?
Because between refers to.
Yeah, exactly. But between is only to compare two things, right? Among is for three or more.
Mhm.
So what are these words called? What's the problem? Do you know?
Yes.
What's the
Candies.
problem? Pardon?
Samantha, candy should be a plural, I think.
Actually, candy can be uncountable. Candy is one of those words that
okay.
works. Yeah, it works as a countable noun, and it works as an uncountable noun. So, if I say divide up the Halloween candy, you assume that I mean lots and lots of candy. Okay, so it's uncountable in this sentence. Yeah, good point. Candy. Okay, any questions about 14? All right, good. 15. Tony, can you read 15 for us?
Yes. He arrived to the scene to find a reporter asking questions on the current situation.
Good. I had that word cut off, but it's there now. Okay, what do you guys think?
The second two doesn't fit in Spanish translation.
Well, in English, it's the infinitive, actually, and it's okay.
Okay.
But you're looking at the right part of speech. We have some preposition problems.
On the.
At.
At least
At.
say it again.
For. Ask for.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to write. Let's look at this first two. He arrived to the scene.
Arrived.
It's
At
At the scene. Yeah.
at the scene. Actually, well, at is it's okay. But we usually say you arrive on the scene. To arrive on the scene. Okay. It's used in the news a lot. Like I've just arrived on the scene of the accident. But at is okay. So I would accept both of those, on or at. Okay.
Yeah, arrive at maybe is when you arrive at a conclusion. No, it's
Yeah.
used in this context also. Yeah.
Yeah, it can kind of be used in both contexts. Yeah, it depends on what you want to say. We have another problem over here on.
Yeah, about.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, good. Questions
Okay.
about, not questions
About.
on. Yeah, very good. As soon as it lets me draw, I'll fix it. It's really slow. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. About. Perfect. And what are these errors? Which part of speech? Wrong.
Wrong preposition.
Good.
Prepositions.
Yeah. Okay. And Sabrina, can you read number 16 for us?
Okay, 16. While on vacation, his mail accumulated.
What's wrong? Everybody.
During on vacation.
While he was on vacation.
Yes, who said that?
Tony.
Tony. Well, he was on vacation. Excellent. Do you know why?
Because it seems that the male was on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't know what's on vacation. So this is a problem. We're missing our subject. So it's like his mail was on vacation and it accumulated. That's how it sounds. So we need the subject while he was on vacation. Great. This problem we call
Missing subject.
yes, missing subject, or we call it a dangling modifier. This is the technical term. If you're curious, you can look up things that dangle in grammar. They can be very funny, or we're missing a subject. Great. Okay, good. Any questions about 16? It's okay? All right. Ismail, could you read number 17 for us, please?
Yes. Disruptive and angry, the principal sent the student to the office.
Uh-huh. Okay, what do we think? What's wrong?
The principal sent the disruptive and angry student to the office.
That's perfect. Okay, now can you tell me why?
Because we don't know who is disruptive and angry.
Exactly. It sounds like the principal is disruptive and angry.
Yes.
Which is kind of funny. So again, this is a case of, we saw this earlier, this is our modifier, disruptive and angry, and it doesn't know what it's doing. So we call it a misplaced, very lost and confused. Okay? Very good. Eduardo, can you read number 18 for us?
Yes, sorry, I was talking. She
Yeah,
didn't
no
buy the
problem.
lamp because of her banking. Okay, she didn't buy the lamp because of her overdrawn. No,
Yeah, that could work. So you know what's the problem?
Because
the
of
problem is the
her
word banking. Yeah.
Yeah, the word banking is like really awkward, right? It just doesn't work. So you have lots of options. You said overdrawn for over, or you could say her, or
Her
whatever.
balance account. Yeah.
Yeah, her bank account balance. But you can't just say her banking. It's really uncomfortable. So just the error here, I would say, is I don't know, awkward. Doesn't really work. Okay. I think we've got time for one or two more. Any questions about that one? 18 or 17? Okay. Ali, can you read 19?
Okay. You can either visit today or tomorrow morning.
Good. Okay, what's going on? What's the problem?
You can visit either today or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, great. You can visit either today or tomorrow. Do you know why? Does anyone know why?
Yes, you cannot put the verb in the middle. You have to put
Or
the noun
we need
after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things are a little, they're not parallel, right? They don't line up this way. You can visit either today or tomorrow is better. Perfect. Okay, good. Let's take a look at 20. Maybe we'll just say them. I don't have time to write them, but let's do them together. In the 16th century, witches were hung for their crimes. What's wrong? The tricky one here. Oh, what happened? Oh, it shut down. Okay. In the 16th century, witches were hung for their crimes. Any ideas?
Witches were hanged for their crimes.
Hanging.
No? Hanged for their... Sabrina is right. It's hanged. I know that sounds like really awkward, but actually, when you're talking about a person and like the person dying, we use hanged. So hang.
Could you write it, Samantha?
Hanged. Yep. Or hang, hung. Hung is used for objects. So if you're talking about an object or a thing, then you would use hung. But if you're talking about a person, you say hanged, even though it looks wrong. Okay. Witches were hanged. What about number 22? If you give me a donut, I would certainly eat it.
Give me a donut.
Anyone?
I will.
I will.
Good. If you give me a donut, I will certainly eat
I
it.
know.
Or you could put give into the past. If you gave me a donut, I would certainly eat it. Either way. Yeah. And the last one. We helped Joanne more than them.
More than than did.
Yeah, perfect.
More than.
More than we helped Joanne. More than they did. This is kind of like who and they versus them. Mixing up your pronouns here. More than they helped her. Okay. Lots of tricky ones. So I'll just mark up these last few questions and then I'll send this file to you on the Verbling chat. Okay? Any questions? Do you feel like you understand the problems somewhat?
Yes.
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 Good, good, good. Okay. Well, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll be back next weekend, so hopefully I'll see you then. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, Samantha. Bye.